Hey, what's up guys, my name is Charlie. Today we're going to be watching some Nostalgia Critic, and it's going to be Super Mario Bros. Super Show. Oh dear god, I've heard about this. I heard it's bad. A lot of my friends talk about this, and they say it's bad. Maybe it's good. Who knows? I'm into sort of like bad movies and TV shows and stuff. I've got like a weird bad movie fetish going on, as it seems to be going on with these Nostalgia Critic videos. For some reason, every time the Nostalgia Critic says it's a bad movie, I'm like, it's a good movie. I enjoy it. But yeah, maybe this is good. Hopefully. But yeah, let's check it out, shall we? Hopefully we get to see what it's like, because I've never watched it. I've heard about it, but I've never watched it. So I'm very curious to see what sort of Twilight Zone experiment we're gonna go into here. So yeah, let's check out the video. Let's go.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember it so you don't have to. Of all the poorly animated, poorly written, and just downright poor animated shows that came out in the 1980s, this was one of them. The Super Mario Bros. Super Show.
Of course.
This is probably one of the strangest cartoon shows that ever came out of our generation, and considering what we grew up with, that's saying a lot. At the time, Super Mario Bros. Was everywhere, scoring it big with two hit games on the original NES. So the appropriately named Dick Entertainment thought, hey, we can profit from this too. Let's make a show about these world-famous games and see if we can come up with something truly ridiculous and embarrassing.
Oh,
they
God.
did. And boy, was it not only stupid, it was weird. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can a show based off of two Italian plumbers in a land of mushrooms who spit fire from flowers and spend most of their times kicking turtle shells possibly be strange?
Yeah.
Well, it is. Mostly because when you get down to it, Mario Brothers had no story. It's just your basic hero rescues princess from dragon scenario. Nothing else.
Yeah, it's
so
a
how
game.
can you possibly center an entire animated series around that? The short answer is, they don't. The long answer? Well, let's take a look.
Alright, let's take a look.
Hey, paisanos! It's the
paisanos.
Super Mario Brothers Super Show!
Well, at least they have the original video game music. I mean, it's not like they tried to modernize it with like some retarded rap or something.
With the Mario Brothers and plumbing's a game.
You know, I got one to keep my fucking mouth shut. So the show actually starts off with a live action portion with Danny Wells as Luigi and professional wrestler Captain Lou Albano as Mario. Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is
They would
cool.
often get incredible guest stars on, like Dracula, Inspector
Dracula,
Gadget, and
Inspector
even
Gadget.
Elvis. Wow, they managed to get
Elvis.
Elvis. They mostly sat around telling lame jokes, hoping the kids don't know how to comprehend humor yet.
You must be Mario. You must be Luigi. You must be kidding. This place is a dump.
And
Wow.
if you think that piece of horrible puked-up writing is bad, wait till you see the cartoon! The animated portion stars your essential characters, Mario, Luigi, Princess Toadstool, and Toad. You know,
Toad.
the little bastard who always said our princess is in another castle.
I love
wonder
Toad.
if he's as annoying in the show as he is in the game.
Hey, Papa! Did anyone ever tell you were ugly?
What
Nope,
the
he's
heck?
far more annoying. I mean, they really couldn't find another voice for this guy?
Yeah.
It sounds like Jay Leno's mentally deficient cousin.
Hey, man! I'm the fantastic fungus!
What a shitload of shroom.
Yeah.
Give them some credit, though. They actually did get a woman to do the princess's voice instead of whoever the hell they got to do in the games.
What the hell is this from? Dear
Why
God.
isn't I always see like a fat, middle-aged, balding man doing that voice? This is just so creepy. While we're on the subject, is it me or does Luigi sound an awful lot like George Carlin on this show?
I know I'm gonna regret this.
Yeah, that comedian. I love that guy.
Merciful
George
manicotti.
Carlin.
Now say the 7 words you can't say on TV.
Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits, fart, turd, and twat.
And then, of course, there's Bowser, who they always call King Koopa for some reason. I never got that. Why don't they just call him Bowser? Or even the artist formerly known as Bowser? Just something. I'm used to calling him Bowser. So anyway, you're probably wondering, what's the story of the
Yeah,
show?
what's the story?
Boy, is that the million-dollar question. I say that because the story keeps changing. It's
No.
never the same scenario. Sometimes they're in the jungle, sometimes they're in the future, sometimes they're in space. The fact is, they didn't have any original ideas of their own, so they just decided to rip off everybody else.
Yeah.
So you get really lame titles like Toad Warrior, Star Koopa, and Raiders of the Lost
Raiders
Mushroom.
of the Lost Mushroom.
And in every episode, Koopa would be different. In one, he's a punk leader, and another, he's a robot, and this one, I don't know what the hell he is.
yeah, what is
Vibrator,
that?
maybe? I don't know.
Darth
All these
Vader?
characters are totally flat and have no personality. But trust me when I say that's not the worst part. Like, let's talk about the setting. In the game, everything takes place in the Mushroom Kingdom. Here, good God, I can't even tell you how ridiculous these settings are. They live in idiotic worlds like Spyland, or Jungle Land, or Roboland, or even stinking Car Land. They have a Car Land. You can't just add the word land to something and expect it to be a fully developed three-dimensional world.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I got an idea. Let's all go to Potland. And after that, maybe we can spend time in Table Tennis Land.
Oh,
Or
Mushroom
how about
Land.
we drop by that British guy who always seems to be in everything, but you never really take the time to figure out what his name is, Land.
Yeah, what
it
is his
doesn't
name?
work. So, okay, there's nothing wrong with a little satire as long as it's written well, but I actually think they went out of their way to make sure this was written badly. This humor is so lame it predates half the dinosaurs they're fighting in this show. I mean,
Wow.
listen to some of this dialogue.
Holy macaroni.
May the pasta be
Oh.
with you.
Oh, so cheesy.
So long, spaghetti suckers. I'm
What?
gonna make linguine out of you. Try it, meatball. Calamitous calamari.
Pasta jokes! Nothing but fucking pasta
Wow.
jokes! Why? Because
Because they're Italian? Yeah.
That's not stereotypical at all.
Speaking of pasta, where's that lunch you promised?
Hey!
I love how
Italian.
the other
All we know
mushrooms
about
weren't
is
laughing.
lasagna and comedically large mustaches. And meet the ball. So if pasta puns isn't your cup of ragu, don't worry, there's plenty of other stuff that doesn't make sense. Like the animation. This stuff makes Hanna-Barbera look like Hayao Miyazaki. I mean, the original video games had better animation than this. Half the time it doesn't even add up. Like, look at this scene where they throw a bomb at this guy. He's so afraid that he actually jumps off with the bomb.
What?
Why? Was he a kamikaze Koopa? I mean, it makes no sense.
Is that
Here's
supposed to be
another great
funny?
scene. See if you can spot the flaw here.
How much longer until my Birdo Ray destroys the space mushrooms planet?
16 minutes and count.
What?
What?
You said 16 minutes literally as the clock is showing 4 minutes and 25 seconds.
Yeah, that's strange.
What the hell? Are they even trying? But here's my favorite. They come across a character called Indiana Joe. Get it? They remove the N and the S and it becomes a totally
Yeah.
different name. Genius satire.
Yeah.
So he comes in with the hat and the whip and everything, but look, they forgot to animate his face. How cheap are these bastards? They couldn't even animate facial features? And they never explain why. You're just supposed to accept the fact that he looks like that. No questions asked. How hard can it be to put a face on a person? Anyone can do it.
YouTube
I can do
copyright.
it. Watch. Give me a face, you fucking bungholes! But wait, it gets even more chaotic. Just watch a few of these scenes and see if you can make a lick of sense out of them.
That was more fun than getting flushed down a sewer.
Okay, I don't want to know what you do Friday nights. Why was the
Is that a
snake
bullet?
shooting bullets?
Yeah, why was he shooting bullets?
Is he flying a garbage can?
We don't have anything he wants.
Yes, we do. A tanker full of spaghetti sauce.
Oh,
I don't know what's going on.
enough with the spaghetti
I'm
jokes.
so confused.
Enough with the pasta.
Why does he want a tanker of spaghetti sauce? Why would anyone want a tanker of spaghetti sauce? It's
Yeah.
Spaghetti!
It's not a valuable resource. That's it. I'm done. I can't take it. This show makes no sense. Show me something else. I don't care. Just anything. Anything that has nothing to do with this.
Oh, The Legend of Zelda.
Ah,
That's
yes,
great, I
I
love
almost
this.
forgot. Every Friday, the Super Show would replace the Mario cartoon with a Legend of Zelda cartoon.
Yeah, I remember
And
this.
even though it wasn't as bad as the Mario stuff, it was still pretty damn wretched. I mean, you
No,
watch
it
the
wasn't. It
opening,
was great.
It looks cool, looks big and epic, until...
Nice job, hero.
Hey, excuse
Excuse me, princess. I love it.
Really? Excuse me, princess, that's the best 80s sitcom catchphrase that you could come up with? Well, if we're gonna go this route, why not exploit the shit out of it? I mean, there's plenty of other phrases you could have used, like, "What you talking about, Zelda?" Or maybe a more obscure, "To the moon, your highness!" Or how about the always classic, always endearing, "I know my princess honey pants!" I mean, just if you want to make it more subtle. For all its problems, Zelda does at least have a grounded story. Zelda and Link are guarding the Triforce of Wisdom while the evil wizard Ganon is constantly trying to steal it from them, trying to combine it with the Triforce of Power.
Yeah,
Whoever
I
gets
know
both
what it is.
Triforces will rule the kingdom of Hyrule forever. Now this is an adventure I can get behind. Exciting
Finally,
stories,
you
gripping
like
action,
something.
and tough, nail-biting dilemmas that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. Like,
The crew building my father's water park was attacked by monsters. You got any ideas?
who gave out my Nintendo games? Who? It's funny because with Mario, you never knew what to expect. With Zelda, you always knew what you were gonna get. For example, Link always tries to get to first base with Zelda.
Ta-da! Kiss me, kiss me, kiss me, kiss me, kiss me.
Jesus, he's more horny than Pepe Le Pew.
Whether I'm awake or asleep, you're the girl of my dreams.
That's the sappiest line I've ever heard.
That's nothing. Wait till you hear my pasta-related humor.
Oh, God.
Ganon always sits and plots like Skeletor's drunken mother-in-law.
You want those pieces of the Triforce? Sweet. Why?
Okay, what's up with the teleport?
Lincoln said,
Is that really necessary? Why? What is the point? Knock it off! Does he have ATD, attention teleportation disorder? And of course, Link always says,
Excuse me, princess.
why? Because
That's a
Zelda and
meme
Link
as
are
well.
always bickering.
I was sleepwalking.
Sleepwalking. Stop sitting down on the job.
Thanks, heaps.
I guess you'll have to do.
Why me?
Will you stop doing that?
Now what?
Good boy.
When did this turn to the mad about you of fantasies?
Ugh, you're all dirty.
Aw, come on, princess.
The Adventures of Zelda! Action, adventure, swords, and flame, and trying to figure out who left the toilet seat up the other night.
Well, I have to admit, I like the fact that Zelda is an active character, not just some pretty damsel waiting to be rescued. I think she's actually more mannish than Link is. I mean, look at this. She's always saving the day, always planning the strategies, and even pushing her loved ones out of the way so she can focus on her work. Back off, lady. We totally own that. I also like the fact that she actually does have a king for a father, so she's not just taking the princess trademark because it sounds pretty.
perfectly natural for him to defend it, eh?
Whoa, what the hell is the king on? Look at his eyes. Listen to his voice. I think I know why they call this land Hyrule. Because it's always ruled by a high king.
Oh, excuse me, princess.
It's interesting because Link is often considered one of the key essential video game fantasy heroes. But here he's a wisecracking jackass, kind of like a medieval Wheeler from Captain Planet.
I'm some sort of cut-rate superhero.
He's a teenager,
you call
so...
her a hero, princess? What's that supposed to mean? Well, excuse me, princess.
I'm just gonna keep saying this till somebody makes a t-shirt out of it. So most of the time they just go to Ganon's fortress at Castle Grayskull where they try to steal his Triforce away while Ganon often goes to their castle to try to steal their Triforce away.
2 zaps. One more in your history, Ganon.
I know, I read it in the instruction book. Speaking of which, wasn't there originally 3 Triforces? I mean, that's why it's called the Triforce, right? Because there's 3 of them. They come together as one. So where's the other one if it's not here? Is it lost in the mystical, enchanted realms of East Orange, New Jersey? Or maybe in the outer regions of fantasy and reality known as Disney's Magic Kingdom? Or maybe it's in Potland, I don't know, I guess it doesn't matter. I gotta say though, the Triforce itself is kind of strange. It can actually talk and predict the future, in rhyme no less.
To find your father, royal daughter, you must search beneath the water.
It's like one of those triangles
Okay.
you find in the Magic 8 Balls.
Ganon's got Link's Chris sword now. How can we stop him?
Dude, the Triforce is not a balloon. Show some respect.
Well,
Wow.
excuse me, princess.
And you shut the hell up, you metrosexual wannabe. I think if I had to pick one of my favorite episodes, one of them would have to be the water park adventure. Because it makes no sense. You have all these demons and creatures that you could be fighting, and what's the biggest problem?
My royal water park should be completed soon.
Bullshit! Especially like the scene where the animators forgot to animate the creature's claws in this scene. Look, you can even see where they're supposed to be. Oh yeah, we're the best animators in town! Just don't ask us to draw creature claws or faces. We're not good at either of those. We keep forgetting to put them in. Look at this, the bubbles aren't even moving in the background.
Who cares?
Do you think they just stopped to watch the show? So, in the
This
end,
is good,
what was
I like
causing
it.
all that ruckus in the water park?
Afraid our water park was hooked into the fairy water supply, and the fairy king here got worried.
Oh, what a misunderstanding. I'm so glad this mediocre and unimpressive problem was resolved. Next week, they're gonna find out why Link's piggyback course has a squeak in it. I think the other episode I like is the one where Link's soul is removed from his body. So he has to tell Zelda how to defend herself and use his weapons, which of course makes no sense. She's the one who was doing all the work to begin with. Why does she suddenly need instruction?
You swing that sword like a girl.
You know, the whole role reversal
She
gag
is a
doesn't
girl.
really work if you already reversed the roles to begin with.
Well, excuse
princess.
So even with his soul removed from his body and on the brink of eternal slumber, do you think that gets any respect from our highness?
Say, I wonder why you're the only one that can see me.
Just my bad luck, I guess.
You know what? Why? Why do you hate me so much? Is defending all of humanity just not good enough for you, you royal piece of cock tease? I want to split you in half with my laser sword, you no good sack of bitch!
Wow.
Fuck you!
Damn.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Or you could just go with that. Either way, the cartoon blows. Especially because the Zelda games have
doesn't
gotten
blow,
a
it's
big
good.
reputation recently, becoming kind of like the Lord of the Rings of video games. So people really seem to take it seriously and really hate this cartoon in particular. And who could blame them? Everything about this show is half-assed, cheesy, and just downright lazy. Not that we expected exactly high art, but we did in fact expect something. And instead got one hell of a silly, thoroughly unenjoyable series. Hell, just watching someone play the games is actually more exciting than watching this fully animated bullcrap. Now, to be fair, I do think this show was probably intended for much younger kids in mind, but that's no excuse. Just because something is intended for younger kids doesn't give you the right not to try. If you're really good at something, you can make anything entertaining and anything plausible, no matter how absurd. I'm the Nostalgia Critic. Now, if you'll excuse me, my never-ending search for Potland continues.
Okay, Super Mario Bros. Super Show is owned, huh? Alright, first of all, I'm sorry, I have to disagree with him. I have to call this out, Nostalgia Critic, I'm sorry. You know, that Zelda cartoon, I remember watching that, and that was good. I enjoyed that. And the excuse me, princess, that's become a meme. A very well-known meme. You know, I used to watch that Zelda cartoon, and I gotta say it was good. I enjoyed that. So you know, it's good. Maybe you don't like it or something, but I enjoyed that. I like the Zelda cartoon stuff. But how the hell did we go from Super Mario Brothers Super Show to Zelda? How the hell did we skip? Did we just do two videos or something? I don't know. That's very strange. That one was all over the place. He seems to be, you know, all over the place on that one. Not that the video was good. It was a good sort of video TV show and all that review, but it was just a bit all over the place for me. Yeah, it was very interesting, very indeed, very interesting, but I disagree. Zelda, the cartoon, with the anime series, so forth, is good. I enjoyed that. I'm sorry, but I have to say I enjoyed it as a kid and I enjoy it now. And it isn't nostalgia. I obviously believe it's good. You know, the story doesn't have to be good. You know, the story doesn't have to be perfect. The animations and cartoon backgrounds, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just because it's imperfect, you know, imperfection, it's not properly correct, it doesn't make it bad. It doesn't make it automatically bad. You know, it has some redeeming virtues in it. You have to call that out. You have to, when you look at something, you have to call all those wonderful virtues, what makes it good, what makes it so alluring. You know, don't just criticize it. Well, he is a critic, obviously, but you know, also give a bit of fresh breath of fresh air. You know, give it a little bit of light. You know, say, hey, you know, it wasn't that bad. You know, I can understand why people enjoy it. You know, they grew up as a child and they love Zelda, and you know, it's nostalgic from the good memories, and it wasn't as bad as everyone thinks it's to be. You know, stuff like that. Honestly, maybe I'm just salty. Maybe I'm very upset and very salty that he's, you know, attacking one of my nostalgic childhood memories. Yeah, I gotta say, I gotta call that out. No, it was good. And he did mention, you know, his favorite episode. But then again, he chose a favorite episode to criticize it, which is what he does. But, you know, it's all over the place, you know. Yeah, this was a good video. If you like this video, make sure to give a like, comment down below, and make sure to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.